Broncos fans, we have a long way to go to catch the Kansas City Chiefs report. But here's the deal that head coach Vic Fangio and Andy Reid and myself made. For every new subscription we get from now until kickoff on Sunday, they're just going to add that number to the point total for the Broncos. So let's say Denver's down by 3 or 4 in the fourth quarter. Don't be the guy that's sitting on the couch going, if only I hit that big red button. Help yourself out. Help the Broncos out. This is all scientifically proven. Hit that big red button, subscribe today, and let's get those sub numbers up, and let's catch the Chiefs report. Welcome into the Broncos Breakdown now. I'm your host, Matthew Peterson. On today's show, I'm going to cover 5 players to watch for in Week 13. They're a huge matchup against the Chiefs. We also got some injury news coming your way as well. But first, let's set the table for this matchup as the Chiefs open up as 10-point favorites. These odds are coming from our friends over at BetUS. We'll get to them in a little bit later on in the video. Over-under set to 47. Kind of low for a Chiefs game, honestly, but I guess they don't have much faith in the Broncos offense to carry it up. You got 2 good defenses, so 47 seems about accurate to me. But that 10 points, that's a lot for Teddy Two Covers, who the last time he was a 10-point underdog on the road, well, how about you check out what the Broncos did in Dallas against the Cowboys as producer Coop shakes his head. He's a big Cowboys fan. So Ian Rappaport, he had this to say on the latest Broncos injury news. The Broncos just activated left tackle Garett Bolles. Can someone tell him how to spell Garrett, by the way? It always drives me nuts. Off the COVID-19 reserve list. He's also been out since Week 9 with an ankle injury. So Bolles, who missed Week 10, 11, and of course the bye week in between there, is going to be back and hopefully pretty fresh for a huge matchup against the Chiefs. So if you're excited to see Bolles back on the field, go ahead and type 72, his number, in the comments section below. Here's the deal I'm going to make with everyone today. If we get to 100 comments, I'm going to respond to everyone. So maybe ask a question. Let me know what you're thinking. I'm going to reply to each and every single comment below. So spam your 72s and respond with what other answers you have from today's video. On to the players to watch for. The first one, it is the biggest man on campus in Denver, Patrick Surtain II, coming off a 2-interception performance last time out on the field against the Chargers, and he's also the reigning Rookie of the Week in the AFC. Surtain's been having a great season so far. Early on the year, he was backing up Darby and Fuller, and then Fuller started playing like crap. Darby got hurt, and so it's a huge matchup this week for Surtain as he's become a very prominent starter and player and role player, all the above really, this week so far this season for Denver, but a huge matchup against Tyreek Hill. I don't think they're going to put Surtain on an island with Hill. I wouldn't advertise that because Tyreek Hill has shown if you just put him on one guy, he's going to figure that defender out through the course of the game. They're going to throw some different looks at him. They're going to throw a handful of double teams, I'm sure. But I do think Surtain is going up against probably the toughest wide receiver he has faced yet in his career. I mean, Keenan Allen last week and Mike Williams, those two are tough, but Tyreek Hill is as good as they come. But speaking of Surtain, do you like the pick now? Because Broncos fans, understandably so, were probably decently to very frustrated back in April and May when they went with the corner instead of a quarterback at the time. But I don't know, Surtain has done everything he's been asked to do. He has lived up to the expectations and exceeded them. So Y for yes, N for no. It's also the pinned comment on today's video. So go on down, scroll, reply, and then come back and join the video when you are done. Next player to watch for, JEUDY. I really want to see a breakout game for JEUDY. He is like just knocking on the door, basically. He's had important roles and important catches and receptions at key moments. You know, go back to the Cowboys game, one of his first games back after the ankle injury, and just key situational football for JEUDY. Now it's time for him to really go off. And when you're going up against Tyreek Hill, who's got some fast wheels beneath his hips, you got to match speed with speed. If they're going to play with fire, how about you return with your own fire as well? Love what I've seen out of Courtland Sutton and Tim Patrick, but haven't really seen all these 3 wide receivers mesh well together. So for JEUDY, who, look at his stats right there, he's missing a big one. He's missing a touchdown. No TDs on the season yet for the young wideout. So, JEUDY, I want to see him go off. I want to see a touchdown reception. Let's see him torch this Chiefs secondary that's kind of been down to start the year. Now they're picking up. Let's put him back down. Speaking of the Chiefs and Broncos matchup, predict the score for me. I asked this question earlier this week in my preview. Check that out as well. I have that in the copy, in the comments and the description of the video. But predict the score for me. If you already have, maybe it's changed, or maybe you think the Broncos are going to win by more. Whatever it may be, comment your predictions down below. The third player to watch for in this one, how could I not include Teddy Bridgewater, the quarterback? Because if you're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, decent chance your quarterback's going to play a pretty big role in that. So QBs this season, I crunched the numbers, versus the Chiefs, have looked like this. Decent, pretty good completion percentage, just under 67%. They're throwing for over 250 yards per game, 17 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. That's been something that the Chiefs have been very consistent on. They're on like a 5-game streak of recording an interception against the opposing quarterback. This Chiefs defense got off to a horrible start against the opposition, against opposing quarterbacks to start the season. Now they're getting better. The good thing for the Broncos, though, is Teddy is a road killer. I was walking my dog this morning, came across a dead squirrel on the street. Maybe that was Teddy Bridgewater. I don't know. Was he in Dallas this morning? Because Bridgewater, he loves going on the road. He is better statistically on the road than at home. As crazy as that sounds, he really is. So don't count Bridgewater out because he's away from his home bed. For whatever reason, he likes to sleep in a hotel bed before a game. I don't know. Take it up with him. Broncos fans, we've got a great deal for you guys over at our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Get that 125% deposit bonus for going to chatsports.com/bet. Plug in the promo code Broncos125, and you are rolling in the dough. Look at the Week 13 odds here. Like I said, Teddy Bridgewater, a beast at covering. 10 points on the road is a ton for him, and the total over-under at 47. It's low. I like the over. I think the Broncos offense can do their part to get the over in. My gut kind of said under, but I'm fading myself right now, so I'm going to go over. And so if you are with me, head on down to BetUS. Check them out. Awesome deposit bonus deal going on right now when you use that link along with the promo code Broncos125. My fourth player to watch for is Bradley Chubb, because I think we're all waiting for a big Bradley Chubb moment. I don't know if So the 5th overall pick hasn't really panned out because the idea was him and Von Miller would be the best 1-2 duo, kind of like a Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis from the Colts days. The issue is Chubb missed a bunch of games, and then last year Von missed the entire season. So they haven't had a ton of overlap, but Chubb has had decent success-ish against the Chiefs in his small 4-game sample size when he suited up against KC, a sack and a half, 6 QB hits. Chubb is, I think, really waiting for that statement sack. You know, that game-changing, game pivot mode where Chubb takes over in the 4th quarter and picks up a sack or two at key moments. And Chubb knows this too. Here's what he had to say after the win on Sunday, coming off that ankle injury back in Week 2 against the Jags. My ankle feels amazing after Sunday's game, so I couldn't be more ready for the upcoming week. We'll go out there during practice and manage it and see how it feels throughout the week. Then hopefully Sunday it will be a full workload. So he's talking about only playing 42% of the snaps, 47%, something like that, in the Chargers game, and hopefully he's up to close to 100. But will Bradley Chubb record a sack against the Chiefs this week? 1 for yes, 2 for no. If you're Bradley Chubb and you're watching this video, 1, you better be typing 1. 2, come on, live up to it. Get me a sack for this game. My 5th and final player to watch for is Justin Simmons, and as I stand here right now, I'm a little mad at myself that I didn't bump this up higher in the list, because Simmons has been the unsung hero, I think, for this Broncos defense all season long. When other players have wavered, and I don't know, when your greatest player-ish behind John Elway gets traded, old, reliable Justin Simmons, he's not even old, has been consistent all season long. The Broncos media member tweeted this out. Justin Simmons said that without a doubt, this is the biggest game of his career. If you want to be where the Broncos, if you want to be where the Broncos are used to being, you've got to beat Kansas City. And that's true. The Chiefs have beaten the Broncos 11 straight games, and Simmons, who's entering, year 5 now in Denver, coming out of BC in the 3rd round, he has been great this year for Denver. He's been one of the top safeties in the NFL. He's been a certified baller. 4 interceptions. You don't have to look it up. That's the best on the team. So for Simmons, it's a huge game. This Broncos team has got to find a way, I think, to beat KC if they want to make the playoffs. I don't know. If they don't win this one, I don't think the season's over, but I think it surely helps a ton if you're able to find a way to knock off the Chiefs on the road. Broncos fans, follow me on Twitter as well, at Matthew Petey. I'm always talking Denver up there, shooting the shit. So follow me, and if you came from this video, shoot me a DM, and I'll give you a shout-out on the next video. We'll see you later in the week here on the Broncos Breakdown.